But if you keep doing it, even if you can't get it right away, eventually you will. You will.
5, 4, 3, 2, let's roll. This is how we roll. This is how we roll. This is how we roll. Let's roll.
Yeah! Woohoo! Yippee! What's up, Planet Roller Skaters? Indy Jamma Jones here, and today we are at the North Domingo Baca Skate Park in the beautiful Albuquerque, New Mexico. There's a really big meetup today with girls from Albuquerque, maybe some from Santa Fe, people traveled from Roswell, and there's even some people here from Colorado Springs. So we got a really solid group of roller skaters, and it's gonna be an awesome session. But first, every time that I'm going into a session like this, especially one that's going to be really exciting and have lots of energy, I really like to warm up. So every time I go to the skate park, before I drop in, before I start doing anything crazy, I try to find a good ramp and I warm up with my pumping. So there are a few things that I do with pumping in my warm-up routine, and I think it's really helpful to just kind of establish these things in the beginning to be able to have the best session possible. So I'm going to show you guys those things, and yeah, if you ever need a 5 to 10 minute warm-up when you hit the skate park, this is a great way to do that. So let's do it. All right. So the first thing I do is find a really good mini ramp. If there's a half pipe or something that you can just pump back and forth in, that's great. If you only have a quarter pipe or a small bank or something, you can still do these things just separately. So the first thing I do is I pump back and forth, just kind of get a feel for the ramp. And then eventually I start touching forwards and touching back. So I pump back and forth, touching the wall each time. And what that does is it makes sure that I'm getting all the way down and that I'm getting low. If I'm able to touch the ramp right by my skate, by dropping my butt down, not by leaning my chest over, but by dropping my butt down, then I know I'm as low as I can be, and it just gets my body used to the feeling of getting low on the ramp to minimize any really big slams. So once I've pumped back and forth, touching in front and behind about, I do it for about a minute, then I start to switch which foot is in front. So naturally I switch my feet, which means when I go forwards, I lead with my left, and then at the top of my pump, I switch my feet and my left foot is leading me backwards. Some people don't do that. Some people prefer to keep one leg in front the whole time and not switch. It's totally just a preference thing. There is no right or wrong on this. And I think, it's really just up to you what you're more comfortable with. But what I do like to do in my warm-up is practice all the ways. So if I lead with my left and then switch to lead with my left backwards, I will lead with my right and then switch again with my right to go backwards. Whenever I switch my feet though, I have to make sure that when I'm going fakie, I look over the correct shoulder. The way to know is that if your left foot is in front, your hips are already open to the right, so you're gonna look over your right shoulder. If your right foot's in front, your hips are already open towards the left, so it's easier to look over your left shoulder. If you try to have one leg in front and look the way that doesn't really work so well, your body gets a little twisted up and it's just not super efficient. If that makes you uncomfortable, I think this is a great situation to try something different and make yourself a little bit uncomfortable by looking over the other shoulder. Once I get comfortable switching with my opposite foot, I will try to pump without switching at all. So I pump with my left foot in front and I leave just my left foot in front and I go back and forth for a few minutes. Eventually, I will put my right foot in front, leave my right foot in front, and go back and forth for a minute or two. And what this does is it connects different neurons in your brains. If you only ever have one dominant side and you're used to doing that side, you're gonna be limited in your tricks. And not that it's impossible, but I think really practicing looking over both shoulders and switching which foot is in front opens up a whole new world of trick possibilities. And really, it just makes me feel much more confident and comfortable in my movements on the ramp. After I've pumped my left foot in front and my right foot in front, and I try to do those while touching forwards and behinds too, just to make sure I'm getting really low. The next thing that I do is pump on one foot. So this was a really big challenge for me at first. It took a lot of practice to be able to be really confident on one foot. And as you can see, I'm still pretty wobbly. Like, this is still difficult. It takes a lot of practice. But if you keep doing it, even if you can't get it right away, eventually you wheel. And this really it doubles the force in one leg. So you're like improving your muscles for pumping like twice as fast. And it also really forces you to engage your core and be balanced in a way that you don't always have to be with 2 feet. So it's just a really great drill. One of my favorite things to do. And again, this opens up a whole new world of possibilities. When I get done pumping with one foot, I do what I call donkey kicks. So donkey kicks are where you put your hands on the ramp and then snap your feet back under. Trick to this is that you have to stay really small in a really tight ball, and that's why I like doing these for my warm-up. Again, it's like when you touch the ramp in front and behind you when you're pumping, being able to transfer from your hands to your feet and have to ball up to do that is just a really great warm-up for your body to be in the right position. Okay, so when you do the backwards and the forwards, really, if you put your hands really far away from your feet, it's going to be hard to snap them back under. So, for example, on the forwards, I'm trying to put my feet like back where my hands are. And it feels like a snap. So it's like hands snapping under. Same thing going back. If you let your feet get really far away, it's going to be hard to bring them back in. So if you go right here, you can do it, but it's a little bit trickier versus if you keep it really, really tiny and small like this. Then you can snap it back under way easier. Yeah. So this makes you like stay really balled up and gets your body used to being tight. The thing you really want to focus on is trying to put your feet back up close to your hands. Yeah, nice. So it's like a snap down, just like you did. And snap under. What? Yes. There you go. After I do donkey kicks forwards, I do them backwards. This is actually one of my favorite tricks. It's not nearly as scary as you would think. You can start really low and you could do it really small at first, but eventually getting the backwards pop donkey kick is a ton of fun and a great warm-up. Opens up lots of tricks. Yeah, you can start even just by tapping your hands like you did. Yeah. Yeah. And lastly, there are some other things that I like to do, like 180 turns in each direction, and then I do backside stalls in each direction. This warm-up can continue with many different iterations, but I'm gonna keep it at these basics right now for you guys. And then in the future, we're gonna do a 180 tutorial, and in that tutorial, I'll teach you how to switch the direction that you turn. And I will also teach you how to eventually do backside stalls, turning both directions, and frontside stalls or half cabs turning both directions. So as you can see, this could just grow and get bigger and bigger based on your trick set. But for right now, we're just gonna focus on this really basic warm up. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Planet Roller Skate. Thank you for helping me, being my guinea pig. You guys did great. If you have any questions, please put them below in the comments. If you need any of these beautiful helmets or other skate things, please check out planetrollerskate.shop. And until next time,
Later, skaters!
skaters!